Alrighty, what's going on, guys? It's Night here, and I just wanted to go over a quick build video, kind of in an unedited format, going over the newly buffed Mask of the Quiet One here in episode Revenant in Destiny 2. Now, Mask of the Quiet One has had quite the glow up. It now grants you Devour on rapid weapon final blows, so it's really easy to chain Devour, and we are going to take full advantage of that today here in this Void Titan build. Kind of a little bit of a break from Consecration. I'm a Titan main myself, and I've been running Consecration, which is obviously an incredible S-tier build, but sometimes you need a break to switch things up a little bit, and that's exactly why I started messing around with this build. Now, within the Void subclass, we have the Twilight Arsenal Super. It's obviously the best super to use. We have Bastion with Rally Barricade, which when we place our barricade, we get an overshield for us and our teammates that are nearby. And Shield Throw, it's just the more safe of the melees. And then Suppressor Grenade, those both feed into the Controlled Demolition aspect, which is our second aspect, which is hitting a target with a Void ability makes them volatile. Shooting these volatile targets makes them explode. Just chaining Void explosions, and this can all be started through either of our Void abilities here. Now, when it comes down to our fragments, we have Echo of Persistence, which is our Void buffs being applied to us. In this case, it's Overshield and Devour. Both have increased duration. We have Echo of Harvest, which is defeating weakened targets, granting overpower and a Void Breach. We weaken combatants through Echo of Undermining, which is our Void Grenade weakens targets. And that is all done through our Suppressor Grenades. When we throw the Suppressor Grenade out, we get all three Void debuffs, which is the Suppress through the grenade itself, Volatile through Controlled Demolition, and Weaken through Echo of Undermining. And to round out our fragments, we have Echo of Vigilance. Defeating a target while your shields are depleted grants you a temporary Void Overshield. That also just works really well with the subclass. In case your shields get broken when you get a kill, you get your health back through Devour, and you also get a Void Overshield, which recently got buffed as well. So within the actual mods themselves, where it's not too complicated, we're using Harmonic Siphon because we're leaning into our Void Exotic Primary, and Heavy Ammo Finder, Heavy Ammo Scout. We have Firepower to create Orbs of Power with our grenades, which we will have up quite often with our Devour procs, because Devour gives us back a portion of our grenade energy on kills. You have Bolstering Detonation, which gives us more class ability energy, and then reducing our grenade cooldown with Impact Induction when we throw out our shield melee. Now, our resistances are going to be whatever is needed for the activity. In this case, I'm actually going to change it to Void for this Master Lost Sector. Void and Arc, probably. And then for our boots, we have Invigoration ×2. The reason for that is our melee is probably the ability that's up the least. So I just wanted to get it up more often. This isn't necessary. You could do Invigoration, Recuperation, and then you could throw on, if you wanted to throw on an Absolution, which honestly could be good too. That one's kind of user preference, but I just have 2 Invigorations because I want my melee back quicker. And on the class item, we have Bomber to get our grenade cooldown back quicker. Reaper, when we place our barricade, which we will be doing quite often, we create more Orbs of Power on the field. And then Powerful Attraction to pick up any Orbs of Power we have nearby when we slam down our barricade. And this whole build comes together with a couple of exotic options. The first one, the one that we're heavily leaning into with my setup currently, is the Collective Obligation Pulse Rifle from the Vow of the Disciple raid. And the reason for that is it leeches Void debuffs, which our Void Grenade gives us all 3 on 1. So we get Suppress, Weaken, and Volatile. It can take those debuffs and then pass them on to other enemies through the weapon itself. It has always been a staple in Void builds if you do have this Pulse Rifle. Incredibly powerful. Volatile is everywhere. You're able to pick that up. And with Suppress and Weaken being thrown out as well through your weapon, the battlefield just really doesn't stand a chance against you. And another reason for that is the Umbral Sustenance trait, which is this weapon's magazine is automatically reloaded when you gain Devour or an Overshield. So we always have Overshields and Devours up constantly through Mask of the Quiet One. So we rarely, if ever, have to reload this weapon. The only time you really have to reload is if you're like shooting a boss or something because you're not really chaining a lot of kills. But our Rally Barricade helps with the reload speed on that, so don't worry too much about that. And within the artifact, there's only 2 things that you really need to lean into. Power from Pain, Rapid Final Blows against weakened combatants grants you Devour. It just helps with the Devour uptime. Not necessary, though. And the one that we're leaning to is Supernova, because when we pick up those Void Breaches, our next damage source from Void creates a weakening pulse. Just helps with weakening the battlefield, and overall just helps us with our Void synergy. Another path you could take with this is using Graviton Lance if you do not have this Pulse Rifle, and then change out the Suppressor Grenade. Unless you want to use the Suppressor Grenade, I would use Vortex Grenade if I was on Graviton Lance, just because Suppressor Grenade, the reason we're using it is to feed into Collective Obligation. Vortex Nade, if you don't have Collective Obligation, would be better with Graviton Lance. So we're just going to head into an Expert Lost Sector here to run through it real quick. And maybe fill some gaps or questions that you may have about the build. Show the gameplay loop a little bit in action. It's not a very complicated build. It kind of feeds into itself. You have Devour up almost all the time after you get it going. Depending upon the activity that you're in, once you get your 3 kills, you're able to get Devour up. And we're going to throw out our grenade to get our debuffs onto our enemies. And then we're going to activate Special Reload to get all the debuffs to come out. Void Leech. We're just going to go to work on these enemies. Volatile Explosions are incredibly potent. You have a constant weaken coming out for low health adds as well as higher end champions and such. Your grenade comes back very quickly because of Devour being up all the time and Devour giving you grenade energy and kills. Just the gameplay loop feeds into itself. That Shrieker. Okay. Get our Void Overshield, get our Devour back up. Reload my grenade launcher, but so far so good. We have our 3 buffs charged on our gun. You can see with the 3 dots. We're able to just go work on these red bars. You can just kind of walk forward. Nothing really stands a chance as long as you're getting kills. Depending upon what you're in, if you need to play a little bit more safe, you can do that. This build works for low-end content, obviously. Shreds it. There's not really threats. Coming up. It has Unstoppable Pulse for endgame capabilities. And you're able to free up your heavy slot with personal preference on weapons. To be able to do damage or add flare if you need to swap it to an RPG or whatever it may be. There's a lot of flexibility when it comes to the heavy and special slots. I just have like personal preferences on what I think works best. My recommendation is a grenade launcher, whether it's Transit or Chill Inhibitor, the new one, or Cataphract if you have that from Trials of Osiris. Other than that, it's just main weapon, main focus is your exotic primary, so leaves a lot of room for the crafter player, which I love. You're able to free up your DPS options. You can still do the DPS and nuke champions like you just saw. Able to do that damage. Suppressor Grenade was a little strong there. I wasn't able to get my debuffs off of them. They just all died. So we're going to try to get our debuffs off of this guy up here. Gives a little bit more health. There's your chain. Only have 2, but that's okay. We're still going to work with door damage. The goal is to keep our Devour up at all times. We have 15 seconds. We're able to get a kill in between that. Able to get our kills, do our damage. Keeps our grenade regen going up. Allows us to get our barricade up because we're using our other abilities. And so on and so forth. Having Devour up and avoid Overshield up, there are no setbacks to doing that. final boss in this lost sector. A little annoying, not gonna lie. I don't really like him. He's really strong. Does a lot of damage. So I'm really gonna try to play it a little safer here. Normally I would go all in and get aggressive. But he just kind of one-shots, so I don't want that to happen. GLs are meta. Let's see how much damage I was just able to do on that guy with a couple of bait and switch shots. So, you know, feed into the meta. Cascade pouring up. GL. I don't think I have any debuffs up because it's lying on me. You see in the bottom left I don't have any debuffs up. Sometimes the gun does lie to you. Just double check your bottom left. So we see the boss back there. We're gonna hit him with it so we get the debuffs. That just more damage. Whenever you get low, you can throw down your barricade. Barricades have a lot more health now, so you can crouch behind it. Regen your health. But overall, the build is very simple. You need a break from Consecration Titan. Lean into this. I highly recommend. It works in high-end content, it works in low-end content, works in a team setting, works in a solo. But anyways, pretty unedited, pretty raw. I hope I was able to answer your questions. If you have any questions, leave your comment down below. But I appreciate your support, and have a good day, Guardians. Thank you.